Hi everyone! Today I'm here with mid-year Freakout book tag. It's already that time of year. I can't believe we're halfway through the year and I've not read many books, so I've got very limited answers to the questions, unfortunately. But oh well. Hopefully my second half of the year is going to go better. So the first question is, what's your favourite book that you've read so far this year? And for me that is 100% Gallant by V.E. Schwab. It was absolutely amazing. The atmosphere, the plot, the characters, everything about it. From this book I definitely realised that I enjoy gothic novels. I enjoy books that are set in a remote, massive house where something creepy happens with a little bit of either supernatural or fantastical element, when the book is focusing on just a few characters, and by that I mean very few characters, and we just get to know them and their relationships and all of that stuff. So yes, I loved it. Plus it's also really pretty. So it's definitely my favourite book of the year. Best sequel you read so far this year? I have not read that many sequels, but the best one for sure is Good Girl Bad Blood by Holly Jackson, which is the second book in the trilogy. The first one was Good Girl's Guide to Murder. This book was definitely not disappointing in any way. I enjoyed it just as much as I enjoyed the first one, so that was definitely a good sequel to the first one. New release that you haven't read but really want to, and that for me would be The Ghosts of Rose Hill by R.M. Romero. I'm gonna try and put a picture somewhere. I haven't even bought that book yet, and I don't know why. I really enjoyed The Doormaker of Krakow by the same author, and this one I'm really looking forward to reading as well. I think it's another like middle grade or YA, no I think it's middle grade historical book, and I'm so excited for that one. Hopefully I'll buy it one day as well and read it. Still no idea why I haven't read it. I think it was released in March or something. Haven't even bought it. So your most anticipated release for the second half of the year, and that would be Before Your Memory Fades, which is the third book in a series for Before the Coffee Gets Cold. I love those two first books. They're one of my favorites, so I'm definitely looking forward to book 3 in a series. Biggest disappointment for me, it was Sleeping Giants by Sylvain Neuvel. It just feels like everybody loves this book so much, but to me it just felt underwhelming. I was bored a lot throughout it, and yeah, it was a massive disappointment. I think for me the biggest thing was, instead of seeing the cool things happen, we were told after they've happened, which to me lessened the excitement. I wanted to see how those things were happening, but I didn't see them, so that was disappointing. I only gave it 3 stars. It wasn't a bad book, but I decided not to carry on with the series. Biggest surprise, I've got 2 books for this answer. The first one is Gallant again, purely because I didn't expect to love this book as much as I did, because I have sort of hate to love relationship with Victoria Schwab. I did not like The Archived by her, but then I did really enjoy the middle grade City of Ghosts, and the second one that I think DNF'd because I was listening to the audiobook. Not to blame the book at all, I just stopped listening to audiobooks. But that was definitely a big surprise. But also another big surprise was The Girl from Widow Hills by Megan Miranda, which was one of the Box of Stories books, and considering it's my second technically book from Box of Stories, the first one that I read was Tiny. But this one is like the second one. It took me by surprise how much I enjoyed it, and it was a really good thriller, so I really did enjoy it. Favourite new author? I sort of struggled with that question because I haven't read that many books, or the books that I wouldn't exactly desperately want to read anything else by the authors, or they're just not new to me. I've read something from them before, so the only one that came to mind is again Guy Bass, which is the author of The Haunting of Luna Moon, Skeleton Keys, just because I think this series would be for me. There are plenty more books in the series and I really enjoyed this book, so that's what I'm gonna say, Guy Bass, because I'd love to read more books in this series. So there we go. I like how he creates the atmosphere and the plot really enjoyed this book. Newest fictional crush. I don't really do book crushes, so sorry, I've got no answer again. Newest favourite character. Again, I struggled really. Nobody sprang to mind apart from maybe one person from Viper series or Isles of Storm and Sorrow series, and that is Prince Torin, I think his name is. He's just the kindest, the sweetest, the most understanding, the bravest, and he's the only person who I thought of when thinking of this question. So there we go. Book that made you cry. And again, I don't remember crying many times in books, but then I only have read 14 books this year, I think. So, but the book that I think I cried slightly because there was one sad moment is The Haunting of Luna Moon again. So there we go. There was a sad moment and I think I cried. So yeah. Book that made you happy. Again, couldn't think of anything that made me specifically happy, but this book is the closest to that. And that is Written in the Stars by Ali Harris. This book annoyed me a few times as well, but it also did make me happy in a few situations as well. So that's the answer. Most beautiful book that you bought this year. Again, I've got two answers. The first one you've already seen, and it's Gallant, just because the cover is pretty, but also sprayed edges even on the back. It's beautiful. Also here we've got this, which is pretty, and even on the book itself there's that illustration. Same here. So it is a gorgeous book. But then also another one is Hotel Magnifique by Emily J. Taylor. I love the colour scheme of this book. It's black and purple, which is my favourite combination. It's got a bit of blue, and I quite like blue. And also on the inside it's like a lovely purple colour. I like the aesthetic of this book, so it's really, really pretty. And the last question is, what books do you need to read by the end of the year? And I would say everything I've got on my TBR shelf. There are quite a lot of books and that's definitely not going to happen, but it would be nice if I could read at least twice as much as I read so far. So that'd be great, because like I said, my reading hasn't been great. I had about 2 months of having to study for something, and then my job does take a lot of my time, so I don't have a lot of free time in the evenings, and when I'm back from work I'm normally tired after I've cooked and like exercised and did all the things that I needed to do. So I feel like I don't have much time to read, and also my weekends lately have been too busy that I just don't have time, unfortunately, to read, even though I'd love to. But yeah, so that's the end of this tag. I'm not going to tag anybody because by the time I upload this video it's probably going to be too late anyway, knowing me. So yes, leave some of your answers if you wish in the comments down below. I'd love to read them for sure. So if you like this video, please like and subscribe if you haven't already, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you for watching. Bye.